Hey everybody, Thomas Joseph here with another kitchen conundrum. Now, today we are tackling penne alla vodka. Now, this is a recipe that you all requested. This is a very easy dish to make at home, and today I'm going to share with you all of the tips and tricks you need to know to make this in 30 minutes or less. So let's get started. The first thing you're gonna need is a little bit of olive oil. So I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil here that I'm gonna just pour into a wide, shallow pot. Whenever I'm making a sauce, I like to use a shallow pot so that the sauce cooks nice and evenly. It's not kind of stacked up on itself. And what this does is it helps the sauce also to kind of reduce and concentrate in flavor at a faster rate because there's more surface area and your sauce will be done in a shorter amount of time. So olive oil, garlic, of course, is really important in this dish. And this is 6 cloves of minced garlic here, right into the bottom of my saute pan. And I'm going to cook the garlic just for a few seconds. I really am looking for the garlic to become slightly translucent, to emit some really great aroma, but I don't want it to brown. I don't want it to burn because it's gonna create a bitterness to the sauce. So be really mindful here. And I'm also gonna add some crushed red pepper flakes. It's a tiny little pinch. You can really add as much as you like. So if you like spicy food, you can certainly add more to this. Just toast the chili flake and the garlic together. And I'm gonna reduce the heat slightly because I don't want this to brown too much. And now I'm gonna add in my tomatoes. So I have 1 28-ounce can of tomatoes in their juices, and I'm going to pour this right in because my garlic's getting a little brown here, so I wanna make sure that I'm not burning the garlic. And while this is going, I'm gonna take a pair of kitchen shears and I'm just going to break up these tomatoes into smaller pieces. Now this will help the tomatoes cook down nice and evenly, quickly, and it will give us a smoother sauce in the end because a vodka sauce is typically a smooth sauce. It's not really chunky like a marinara sauce. It's nice and fine. So we wanna make sure that we don't have too much texture with these tomatoes here. So a little bit about vodka sauce. Now, this is definitely an Italian-American dish. This is not a true Italian dish. Vodka is not necessarily used throughout Italy, but this is a popular menu item on a lot of Italian-American restaurants here in the United States, and it's beloved by so many. It's kind of similar to an Alfredo sauce. I think part of the reason why we really enjoy this sauce is because it's laced with cream. In the end, we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of heavy cream to this sauce, and it's gonna give it a really velvety, rich texture. And I think that's what's appealing to so many Americans. So in addition to the tomatoes that I have here, I'm gonna add in some tomato paste. So this is 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I like to use tomato paste whenever I'm making tomato sauces because it really adds a depth of flavor. Think about it, you have all of this concentrated tomato flavor that you're really just kind of embellishing the ingredients you have with this. So you have this richness that it really provides. So I have a little bit of sugar. Now, you can certainly add this if you'd like, you don't have to. It's just a nice way to kind of offset a lot of the acidity that's inherent in the tomatoes. So you can add it if you don't mind acidity, then you certainly don't have to do it at all. And the last ingredient, here it is, it's the vodka. So this is 1/3 cup of vodka. I would encourage you to use a good quality vodka that you would like to drink. Ultimately, you want some great flavor that you're gonna add into this, so a little bit of salt to finish it off. Now, this is gonna cook for about 25 to 30 minutes over medium-high heat, and we're gonna reduce this down until it's nice and thick and the tomatoes have kind of broken down so it's not too coarse. So I'm gonna put this off to the side on this back burner and we're gonna get started on our pasta. So our sauce is simmering. I have a large pot of water here that I'm bringing to a boil. And while this comes to a boil, I want to talk to you a little bit about pasta. Now, vodka sauce, it's typically paired with penne, which is what I have here in front of me. And one thing that I like to show is the different types of pasta that you can find within your grocery store these days. And if not in your grocery store, you can certainly find them online. Now, in front of me, I have 2 brands of penne pasta, but you can really see, or hopefully you can see, there's a color and a textural difference between these two. Now, this one here that I have in my hand is kind of your standard grocery store pasta brand. You can see that the exterior is kind of smooth and the color is pretty light. And this is fine. You can certainly use this, but this version that's in front of me here in my left hand is kind of made in a traditional way, and that is the pasta dough is actually extruded or pressed through dies, they're called, which is really a kind of a coin-like device that gives the shape of the pasta. So the pasta dough kind of goes in, it gets extruded through these dies, and these dies give a really kind of rough texture to the exterior of the pasta. And this rough texture and chalkiness helps the sauce cling to the pasta itself. So it's a desirable characteristic. So if you can find pasta brands that are extruded through bronze dies, they'll usually say on the package, you should certainly pick it up. It might be slightly more expensive, but if you're just serving pasta like I am today, it's almost worth the investment. All right, so our pasta water is just coming to a boil here. Yep, we have small bubbles. Now, I think you guys know this, but if you don't, it's always important to salt your pasta water. You really want to make sure that you're imparting flavor in the process of cooking. So this pasta, it's not heavily salted. We need to make sure it's seasoned well, and the way you're gonna do that is through seasoning the cooking liquid or the water. So be generous here. I know you guys, sometimes you get freaked out by how much salt we use, but a lot of this is gonna go down the drain. So don't be fearful that we're using too much salt. This is really going to fully flavor the pasta that we're using today. Now, this is a whole pound of penne, which is perfect for this recipe. Make sure you look at the instructions on your package. You want to cook it to, I would say, a few minutes short of the cooking time on the package, because we want to finish this in the sauce so it's nice and velvety and creamy. So this is going to go in, and this pasta brand says it takes about 12 minutes for the penne to cook. So I'm going to pull this probably at around 10 minutes. And by that time, my sauce should be nice and thick and reduced and ready for us to embellish with the wonderful heavy cream. All right, so I think our pasta is just about done. Our sauce has reduced down nicely. You can see that the tomatoes have kind of broken down over time, and this has been 25 minutes, so not too long. Now, I'm gonna remove this pasta pot just over here so I can, again, finish cooking the pasta in this wonderful sauce. But before I add the pasta, the last ingredient is the heavy cream. Now, I think this is really the most popular ingredient in this sauce. I think people actually like this because it has cream, not because it has vodka. And I'm gonna reduce the heat down to medium-low, because you don't want to boil cream. If you do boil cream, what happens, or what can happen, is the cream itself can separate. The proteins, the fats, and the water can separate and give you a grainy texture. So add in the cream, and this is a half of a cup of heavy cream. Just stir this around. And now it's time to add the pasta. So it really doesn't take much time to create this dish. So I'm gonna just fish out my penne. You can see these have almost doubled in size, right? So that 10 minutes, and they're still kind of al dente. It means to the tooth, meaning it has a little bit of bite to it. It's not super soft, and that's really what you're looking for here. So fish this out. Now you can see again why it's important to use a wide, shallow pan here, because we're tossing an entire pound of pasta in this pot. So this is really a great kind of all-purpose pan here that you guys should invest in if you can. All right, this looks great and it smells so good in here. Now, I like to serve pasta in a nice, shallow, wide bowl, same as the pot, really. Scoop out a healthy portion of this amazing penne alla vodka. Top it off with some Parmesan cheese. You could use pecorino if you like. Sometimes I like pecorino because it's nice and salty and has, I would say, a little bit more flavor than Parm, but it's really up to you, whatever you have on hand. All right, there you go, guys. This is a restaurant quality dish made at home. There's no reason to go out to the restaurants anymore, because you can make this in no time at all. Now, you guys asked us for this recipe, so if you have any other kitchen conundrums, reach out to us using the hashtag Kitchen Conundrums. We'd love to hear from you. Enjoy your penne alla vodka.